queuing simply because I can. The golden rule of thumb up here, boys and girls, if you want to join in, don't. Nothing we do is too complicated, feel free. So, does everybody know everybody? No, up here, I mean. Oh, hello.
Hiya.
How are you? How you doing? You got up then?
I did, actually.
Such a diva, mate. Such a diva.
The whole problem was Paul didn't bring all my makeup and everything, so I was sitting in my pyjamas for an hour.
See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is when we got married, it's suddenly everything was my fault. So
I know how it feels.
when Claire forgets her makeup now, it's my fault. What's that?
I feel a song coming on.
She don't have her makeup.
Me and Paul should write a song about being on the road with your missus.
Yeah, so we would be single after that, mate.
Hey, we've been up here 2 minutes and it's happening already. I don't know about the rest of these guys, we'll find out as the afternoon unfolds. It's where the ideas and inspirations come for songs. They come from all over the place, really. It could be a word or a sentence or something like that that's just occurred and it kind of stays in your head for a little while and then suddenly there it is. It's born. Wesley always says to people, I need to get out more of my flat. And because I spend too much time in there coming up with songs, stories that he says are a bit strange. You'll hear some of those in the morning. No, tomorrow. Is it tomorrow morning? Where are we? You know, don't you? I happened to be in a pub, strangely enough, in London, in Greenwich, several years ago. And there was a guy sat at the bar not looking very happy. And this woman walked in who was clearly had a drink or two. And kept trying to talk to him. I couldn't hear what was going on. I couldn't see her. She was feeding the jukebox and she was dancing. After about an hour of this, they left together. Stuck with me. So like this. Here is your answer. Is the silence too loud? You're a barroom romancer. I'm a face in the crowd. You're lost and you're lonely, and any stranger will do. So here is your answer. I won't dance with you. I've no need to be false, so the truth of it all is a torment, worries my mind. You asked me to dance, and I asked myself, am I ready for 3/4 time? So here is your answer. The look on my face should tell you the reason why I'm here in this place. I don't want to remember, I just want to forget. So here is your answer. I can't dance with you yet. Well, I've seen you before, though we've never met. Your mouth on the edge of a smile. You came through the door like a balancing act, doing your best not to fall. So here is your answer. Silence is hell. You're a barroom romancer with a story to tell. You're lost and you're lonely. Guess what I am too. So here is your answer. I will dance with you. There you are. Still a chance here. May I dance with you? You got one this on it when you fall asleep? Bless your hearts. I drove all the way down from Scotland. Got here at 5 o'clock this morning.
5 o'clock again, yeah, but it was good, it was a good drive down. Some interesting stories, which we won't share. Not for this time of the day.
Maybe later.
Maybe later. So guys, just for anyone who doesn't know us, we're Paul and Claire and Stevie of Raintown, and it's a real pleasure to be with you guys, and thank you for having us up, mate, we appreciate it. The first song we're going to do, guys, we've been really lucky in the last few years and managed to go out to Nashville a few times and do a bit of writing out there, network and play some shows. And when we were out there, we loved to do a little bit of travelling around, even though they're driving the wrong side of the road. It's always interesting to go out on a road trip. And we went down to Memphis, predominantly, if I'm being honest, to go down to Graceland. We had a friend over with us and we wanted to take him there. But en route, we just, spur of the moment, decided we're going to go to Sun Studios and check that out first. And we went down there. And you know how people talk about having almost spiritual experiences, and you know, it sounds a bit poetic, but when we were in Sun Studios, that's literally what it felt like. To be standing in that room, in that studio where Elvis and Johnny Cash, you know, obviously doing their thing, and when you're in there, they play you a tape of the guys talking with Jerry Lee Lewis, and they're all chatting about the singers they like, etc. And it literally was, you know, hairs standing up in the back of your neck, etc. And it was, you know, it really moved us. But we started asking a question on the trip home back up to Nashville, and the question was repeatedly, did they know? Did they know that when they were doing that music in Sun Studios that they were changing the world? Did they know that it would be forever lasting, all the songs that were recorded there? And it got us talking about a song, and we started writing that night a song called Writing on the Wall, which we're going to do for you just now. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Crystal ball see is letting love looking out for me. Tell me now, where's the cards for? Show me the writing on the wall. The writing's on the wall, and one can see is letting love looking out for me. Tell me now, where's the cards for? Show me the writing on the wall. Show me the writing on the wall. I can see the writing on the wall.
Teach you right.
How do?
I'll do. Gonna do us a tune.
We're from up north.
You're not, are you?
Not as far as Raintown.
No.
No.
No one comes from that far.
I thought we had a long drive yesterday. That was half as long as yours.
In fairness, mate.
Sorry, mate.
My brother came down even further from Inverness, so he's had the longest journey.
Something not right with you, what? Must be paying you a fortune.
Just a
Well,
couple.
nice to see you all again this afternoon. We were on last night, as you know, but we tried not to talk much about the songs last night because we knew this was going to happen, so I'll tell you where they came from and all that sort of stuff. But this first one we're going to do, this is the one that we wrote last week, we told you about last night. And I said something, someone annoyed me at a gig one night, which happens often. And this woman who organised this gig. It was actually a Gary Quinn band gig because I play in his band, as you know. And this woman, she was just an intolerable person. And I remember I got back to Gary's later on, we'd all had a few drinks, and I said to him, I wish I could just put her out of my misery. I was going to say out of her misery, you know, as in just kill her, but I said my misery. I said my misery because I was a bit drunk, and Gary went, there's a song there. So I said, right, well, I'm going to write it, not you. So I was waiting for, just thinking of ways to use that in a song, and I didn't use it in the way that I intended it at first, but Mel was away for a couple of days last week, and I got a bit lonely, so I wrote a leaving song. And she helped me finish it when she got back, just so she can have a name on the album. So it's still Luke
You
and Mel.
needed my expertise on it.
Yeah. So this one's called Out of My Misery. I never say out of her misery. I'm a little lost tonight without you by my side, lying next to me. Yeah, it gets to me, wondering how alone in this darkness you left me, wishing I was the man in your dream that I should have been. Now I'm just as lonely as I've ever been. I guess I deserve it for all my sins, and it scares me to death knowing I'll always be praying that I can put you out of my misery. All these tears that I've cried don't seem to help long. I wish you'd just call, tell me you miss me and it's gonna be alright. That you want me back in your arms to hold me so tight. I'm as lonely as I've ever been. Guess I deserve it for all of my sins, and it scares me to death knowing I'll always be praying that I can put you right back in my life again. 'Cause it's just not the same.
tell me what you got to say. Won't you just walk through the door? I can't take anymore, and I know you feel the same way. 'Cause I'm just as lonely as I've ever been. Had to escape the mess that we're in. It scares me to death knowing I'll always be praying that I can put you. Yeah, I'm praying that I can put you out of my misery. Out of my misery.
Sorry about that, I should have said that really. Right, so completing the first leg of the round. Does that make any sense? Of the line. It's this chap here, Adam Sweet. We met last night. Did you meet him last night? Oh yeah, of course. It's all a blur really. What you got for us, eh?
This one's fairly self-explanatory. About someone I knew for a short while. I won't go into too many details. Mum and Dad are here this weekend. So. But if there's anyone that's ever been in a relationship that was doomed for failure from the very start, you should kind of relate to this, I think. This one's called The Next Man After Me. Tell what she was wanted by her honest eyes. Expensive dress and perfume, which took me by surprise, and she looked fine. A wild child running free. It didn't take long to know that she would get her hooks in me. Twice, but it came at quite a price. We danced to dance, sang the song, but there was nothing more. The dollar of a rich man behind a mask was poor, and that's not fine. The wild child wasn't free. It didn't take long to see that she wasn't right for me. And said, okay, drive me home. A journey loud with silence, her feelings stayed unknown, and that was fine. I set that wild child free.
heard that one before. Okay, so the start of round 2 in a leg of the line things. Last year I happened to be, I know some of you know the wonderful little fishing village of Beer in Devon, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a place called Beer.
Yeah.
I need to go there.
You're not going.
You will, we will get you there.
Shall we go? Let's go now. Paul and Claire saw that coming, didn't you? They don't drink.
Never said a word.
They judge me for it.
We love you for it, there's a difference.
And it was quite an inspirational little village, really. It's there's quite a lot of art and stuff goes on there, and we've several people that Al and I brought over to come perform there. We've gone to the beach. We made a TV program down there at one point as well. And it's just a great place. That's the end of it. But every couple of weeks they have a sort of a jumble sale, and I had to go to it one time and spend 4 of my hard-earned pounds on a painting. Oh God, lights. And this painting was it was a night scene of a train pulled into a station, basically. It was sort of clearly somewhere in Europe, because it was the steps of the train went straight down onto the pavement, and it was lashing down with rain in the painting, not when I went shopping. It doesn't rain in Beer. Just get drunk. I've got to tune this, I'm so sorry. And I bought the painting, and it just fascinated me. It was this couple walking away from the train, arm in arm. And clearly she just got off the train late at night, and I wondered what the hell was going on, really. She kind of fascinated me, and he fascinated me. That was it. Told him about that, and I remember at a gig about 3 weeks afterwards I came back with this. You know this, don't you?
Yes, sir. I did.
She took 3 steps down from the warm midnight train, took one last look behind her, walked into the rain. As he took her in his arms, her beating heart felt calm. She had dressed to kill, she had dressed to thrill, so many miles from home. They walked arm in arm through the cold November night. Their smiles were warm and knowing, breath of frosty white. Laughter filled the air as new memories she shared. There was much to say about her time away, so many miles from home. Home, for 10 long nights and 10 long days she'd waited to get home. She'd been alone in unknown busy places, full of unknown names and faces, where the music's her oasis, so many miles from home. Gently closed the door. The fire was burning brightly, her heart was burning more. Here it all made sense. Here she gathered strength, till the moment when she had to sing again, so many miles from home. For 10 long nights and 10 long days she'd waited to get home. She'd been alone in unknown busy places, full of unknown names and faces, where the music's her oasis. So many miles from home.
We wrote about how we all try and live up to the perfect image of the perfect relationship. And in particular, that we wrote this about a couple that we know. Every time we went into their house, they had the perfect pictures on the mantelpiece of the wedding day or the baby being born, holidays, and how everything always looks so rosy from the outside. But the truth was, this couple was really, everything was really going to pot, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, it's like, I suppose, guys, it's one of these things where it's constant. Image is everything these days, whether that's newspapers, magazines, movies, and everybody trying to live up to an image. And we came away from that home that night, and it was Claire had said, they're living up to a picture.
They were struggling big time to live up to the image on the wall.
Yeah, and Claire came up with the line, it's like a picture of us. And the next song we're going to do for you is called that, Picture of Us.
Shine me back, what I know.
wrote this song shortly after my grandma passed away last year. I'm sure many people can relate to losing somebody very close to them, but it also made me think of how grateful I was for the time that I actually did get to spend with her all those years and make all those memories. So we wrote this song on that happier note to look back on all our memories and our time together. This is Don't Cry Because It's Over.
Single tear falls from your eye, waiting through all photographs, finding ones that make you smile and ones that make you laugh. Those pictures bring to the stories that were told, those memories you created never will get old. But don't cry because it's over. When you look back, don't be sad. Smile because it happened. Hold close to you the memories you had. A single word falls from your mouth, kneeling down to pray at night. They're there for you to reach with a hand to hold on tight. Don't cry because it's over. When you look back, don't be sad. Smile because it happened. Hold close to you the memories you had. As long as you have memories and stories in your mind, you can live them when you choose. If you only close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't cry because it's over. When you look back, don't be sad. Smile because it happened. Hold close to you the memories you had. Hold close to you the memories you had.
I've had the great privilege to do a lot of writing with Steve Black here, and I still kind of see myself as a beginner when it comes to songwriting. So it's been very nice to have Blackie as a mentor and to be able to work together on songs and to sort of, well, learn. Really. So.
Have you paid me yet? Oh.
But one thing that was clear was there wasn't really a set formula to how the songs would come together. You know, sometimes I'd have a song almost there and I'd take it to Blackie to shape up. Sometimes it would be a song of his that I'd tweak, or you know, or sometimes we do it all together. But for this particular song, I had the whole thing. I had the riff, the groove, the tune, everything. even the melody of the vocals, but I just didn't have a decent set of lyrics to it. So I just took it to Blackie and sung it at him, and he very quickly came up with a few lines. I think it was, "Is your soul up for trading? How much sacrifice? Quick now, the chance is fading. Name your price." Just come up with it like that. So great, we had something to work from, and then pretty quickly we just finished it off together. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this one. This one's called Name Your Price. Like the blues man at the crossroads, there's a time to make a choice. Left or right, straight on to back, regret, I rejoice. Is it just the money? Is it just the fame? Be careful what you wish for, the devil knows your game. Our contracts on the table, the way to reach your dream, but I always read the small print. Things ain't what they seem. It's a wise man who remembers the future wears a mask. People take them all down, they give. So the questions you should ask: is your soul up for trading? How much sacrifice? So quick now, the chance is fading. Name your price. If a stranger's looking at you and you like what's in their eyes, do you look away or say hello? See what one drink buys. Love has to start out somewhere. It never knows its fate. There is no fire without a spark. No time to hesitate. Is your soul up for trading? How much sacrifice? So quick now, the night is fading. Name your price. Is your soul up for trading? How much sacrifice? So quick now, the chance is fading. Name your price. So quick now, the chance is fading. Name your price.
Don't invite you round. Not if you want to eat the next day. My turn again. This is a very special song. It's interesting you should sing a song like you did just now, because how I got into all this malarkey originally, I mean, it's a malarkey, isn't it really? So, it's all down to my great-grandfather. I still think, no, I don't still talk to him, but I kind of still talk to him, if you know what I mean. He was in the old music halls back in the early part of last century, and he was a piano player and patter comedy stuff mainly, which is how I ended up writing comedy, I suppose. But he typical music even then back then. If he'd been gigging on the Saturday night, the whole family went round on the Sunday. We had a big old roasting. Everybody, kids, mums, dads, uncles, aunts. It'd be a big old house in London. Basically, what would happen is all the men would go up the pub, lunchtime Sunday, have a few. The women would all get the dinner going and ready and cooked, and the kids would play, and we'd all eat. Then all the men would go off into the kitchen and clear up and wash up, and the women would have a natter. And we carry on playing the kids. And then Jack would get on the piano and we all used to have a sing-song. Everybody had to do a turn, including me. And it sort of stuck with me for a long time, long time. He was an incredible guy, really. He lost his leg, which is a bit careless, I suppose. He didn't mean to. He's come home from a gig one night, pissed, of course. He got out of the car, tripped up over the pavement. Thought he'd sort of hurt his foot. It was a bit painful for a couple of days, and then it suddenly started getting worse and worse and worse. So they realised it had been broken, he got gangrene. And he had to have his leg off up to here, which ain't that much use for a piano player. So he ended up being a one-legged piano player. But he was a tough old bird, and he gave me loads of advice. And it took me 40 years to actually get the emotions right and the words right. As my friend Ian Gillan once said in a line of a song, it was about the time I had my wisdom teeth put in. There's an old man sitting waiting on a chair made of dreams. A young child stood beside him, understands what they mean. 3 generations span the divide. There's a lifetime of difference, but the same deep inside. The old man was playing with pride in his hands. The young child takes a deep breath and he sings where he stands. There's a moment of passion and a look in his eye, and a smile through his cigar smoke that time can't deny. Son, won't you sing me the words in your head? Don't be afraid to cry out's what he said. I'll play piano, I'll write the tune. You make the words up like you're destined to do. In a room full of family, like an old photograph, the young child sings a chorus, makes them all laugh. The sound is as sweet as a sound can be. I looked at the old man and he was smiling at me. Son, won't you sing me the words in your head? Don't be afraid to cry out's what he said. I'll play piano, I'll write the tune. You make the words up like you're destined to do. And the old man kept dancing to the end of the song. The young child was thinking, this is where I belong. And Jack London spoke to me as he closed down the lid. He said, son, be a proud boy, you showed up for the gig. Son, you just sang me the words in your head. You weren't afraid to cry out's what he said. Yes, I played piano, yes, I wrote the tune, but you made the words up like you're destined to do. And whenever you sing, son, I'll be right there with you. We used to sing this. Do you want to have a go? Yeah. Give me your answer too. Sing it. I'm crazy, oh, for the love of you. Beautiful. Still singing, Jack. A lovely bit of singing there, boys and girls, eh? Like butlins. For God's sake. What you got?
Do you know what, just before we carry on, guys, I just want to say how incredible it is to be up here with these guys, these songwriters telling the stories. Just want to say thank you to everybody. It's amazing how people just strip their emotions bare and put it in a song. So I just want to say thank you guys. It's been brilliant. I've enjoyed it. You know, we're really fortunate and grateful. We've got a new album coming out this year. Not before time, I have to say. But we've been really lucky to work with some really incredibly talented songwriters. Certainly none more so than a guy who's became a good friend up in Glasgow called Brian Hughes. A really, really great songwriter. A great guy, with loads of great stories. And sometimes, for whatever reason, you can be in a room with someone who are brilliant, individually brilliant, and it just doesn't work for some reason. With Brian, it's the totally opposite for us. We walked in, for whatever reason, it just works. And we came in one time with a song that we were sort of, I suppose, truthfully sort of having hassle with. We had the idea, we had the melody idea, and we took it to Brian. We played him the opening bars, and he just got it. And the idea was that we wanted to talk about where we. It's okay, you can sit down. You don't have to be embarrassed. That, you know, from our first album, Hope and Troubled Times, to this new album, the journey we've been on, and we wanted to talk a little bit about it, and in those trips over to Nashville, etc. And Brian really got it, and we shared some stories, and this song came from it. So in this song that's coming up, you'll hear reference to us driving about, you'll hear reference to us playing at the CMA Fest at the Global Artist Party on the stage in Broadway, and you know, it's reference to the whole journey, but specifically to that time we had over in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is called Right Here With Me.
I don't care about the stormy weather, 1,000 miles travel together. Write a story one day at a time.
Truck stops speeding over county lines, but 50 miles away from leaving this town behind. Watching your face by like the speed of light.
Hands up, I ain't getting myself relay. My head's been way down for too long, but now we've got ourselves together, and I'm feeling a little stronger. I'm feeling a little stronger. Driving out of Georgia into Tennessee, got a crowd on the radio. You might be in a rainbow place. I want you to be safe right here with me, with the car top down, wind in your hair, blue skies above, Smoky Mountain air, helpless in heaven. I don't care when you're right here with me. So come on now, just a little bit closer. Lay your pretty head up on my shoulder, making all our dreams come true. CMT, me and you. Hands up, I ain't been my sing heaven. I don't care when you're right here with me. Now we're down on Broadway, doing it our way, rocking out the stage. We're watching those big stars play for John Change. We're driving out of Georgia into Tennessee, got a car on the radio. You might be in the rain, no place I want you to be except right here with me. With the clouds up there, ringing your head, blue skies above, smoking hot air, let's sing heaven. I don't care when you're right here with me. Right here with me. Right here with me. Right here with me.
Just want to say thank you to Stevie for playing for us there on bouzouki and on acoustic. Thank you.
I'm slowly learning there's too many Steves in this business.
They've got 3 in their band usually.
I'll have to change my name.
They're all called Stevie as well.
Don't call me Stevie for Christ's sake.
Stevie!
Don't sit well with me, that.
It's a Scottish thing, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Plays a song for Christ's sake.
So this is the last one?
Yeah.
Last one, right. Well, Paul was just talking about when you go into a room with someone to co-write a song, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we've got the same sort of thing going on with a couple of people from London called Matt Greaves and Anne Bailey, who they actually wrote Ward Thomas's album with them, and you know Ward Thomas, they're on tonight, aren't they? But it's funny because Matt Greaves was looking for a mortgage, and Mel's cousin's a mortgage advisor in London, and he saw that he was making money from writing country music and started selling country records. So he said, oh, my cousin writes country music too. So he put us in contact via email, and we were like, yeah, we'll come and write with you. So it was so weird because we know Ward Thomas, and we just met them through somebody else, totally random. And we went down and we've written a few songs with them now, and I think this was the first one we wrote together, wasn't it? But like Paul said, you know, we usually go in with the idea. Oh, you said it too, Adam, didn't you? We went in with pretty much the song, and they just sort of sprinkled a couple of their little fairy dust things on it, and we came out with this. And it's actually about somebody that Mel knew or knows or something. And she's not here, so I'll tell you the story.
You'll get back one day.
It's a funny one. Yeah, so this girl goes out one night and sleeps with this guy, and this guy's got a girlfriend. Was he married? No. Well, he was in like a serious relationship anyway, you know, all wifed up with this other. Anyway, so he got her pregnant, and Mel knows the girl who got pregnant, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and then she.
You know this story or not?
Yeah. So like. We wrote this song about that, and being the other woman, you know, the woman it's not her fault that her boyfriend went out and cheated on her and got someone pregnant. We wrote it from her point of view, sort of. Totally. You gotta fish for things to write songs about these days.
I should tune into Jeremy Kyle.
Exactly. When musicians were at home on weekday mornings, we watched that shit.
I love the fact that Mel did not commit to any answer there. Just get to the end of the story.
Yeah, so we called this one Jezza. This one's called Something About a Woman.
She was driving along the 65 highway. She was trying to forget what happened that day. A tear rolled down her cheek as she pulled onto the shoulder. Gave this little speech, but she couldn't hear the words.
finish off, do I?
You get the finish.
Privilege. This has been fun.
It certainly has.
Quite a few years ago now, when I was a bit younger and a lot more naive, I had to spend a night in Athens. Kind of a long story, but me and the girl I was with at the time, we were getting on so well. She thought she'd moved to a remote Greek island, but that's meant for 6 months without me, so it wasn't a good sign, really, was it? So I thought I'd better visit her for a week just while she was out there, see how she was getting on. And to get there, I had to fly into Athens and then stay overnight before I could get on a bus the next day to take me to a port, to then get on a boat to take me, about 2 days to get there. So I turned up in Athens mid-afternoon with nothing to do apart from kill a bit of time, have a look around, find somewhere to sleep. So I was on the way to find a hostel, fresh off the plane, and I got chatting to this old chap. He seemed friendly enough, and he suggested we go to this bar he knew for a drink, and I had nothing better to do, and the drink sounded pretty good to me, so I went with him, and I was on this kind of busy street with all the tourists, and he said, "Oh, it's just around here," and we went down the side street to this bar that was, well, it was just dead. As soon as I set foot in the place, I knew I'd made a big mistake. It was just dodgy. And yeah, I learned a few lessons on that trip, I guess. So I had to get out of this bar, basically. So here's the story. This one's called Santa Rosa Street.
And I knew I had to leave. The stranger slid a drink spilled over to me with the blade. €100 was the price of freedom that I paid. Traveling alone, glad to make it out alive. I was 1,000 miles from home, and man, it was a hell of a ride. Traveling alone, glad to make it out alive.
How about that? That was good. Before we go, please say thank you. Thank you. Please say thank you. Please say thank you. Please say thank you. been a lot of fun, thanks. We're just going to have 10 of our minutes and we'll reset the stage and Al and the band will be back up in a little while. So thank you very much. Thanks guys, it's been fun. Thank you.